everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my quick, spoiler-free, at least for right now, review of Thor, Love, and Thunder. I just got out of the theater, so I am fresh out. Fresh out. Dog, stop barking across the street. But I am fresh out of the theater. And I'm going to start off by giving you my two negatives. That's it. I have two negatives. Because the rest is positive. And I wasn't expecting this. Because I'm sitting around, I'm watching the reviews, I'm seeing this thing's got like a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, giggity. And I'm thinking in my brain, I'm like, man, because when Eternals was getting destroyed, when I went into Eternals and I watched Eternals, I came out, I enjoyed the hell out of Eternals, but I understood why people were upset with it. I understood why it wasn't some people's jam. Same thing with Doctor Strange. When I watched Doctor Strange, I was like, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie, but I get, watching the film, and even after I've watched the film a second time, I'm like, I get why this wouldn't be a lot of people's jam. But watching Thor, Love, and Thunder, I'm like, this is fucking entertaining. This is funny. This is heartfelt. This is entertaining. There's some really fun, it has a really, ridiculously cool-ass soundtrack. They have a really, a old school hair metal guitar riff version of the MCU theme song at the beginning, when the intro is going in. The entire film, sorry, still dealing with this shit, but the entire film, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. I was pretty sure Thor was going to win, but I wasn't sure how they were going to get to that route. In fact, the very end, the whole thing around the very end, I didn't see any of that shit coming. So I was like, by the time this movie wrapped up, I was like, man, I just went on the most insane, I just went on this ridiculously fun space journey. And you know what? This movie, just like Thor Ragnarok, is gonna be the most easiest movie to rewatch. Because I always say that one of the things that make Thor Ragnarok so amazing is that it's such a fun movie, and it has this way about it that I feel like it's the most easily rewatchable. It's the movie that you can just put on. You know what I mean? It's Thor Ragnarok. And I think this is another one of those films, it just feels like this fun ride that you can go on at any moment. The movie feels like a roller coaster. That's what the movie feels like to me. It feels like a roller coaster. Not a long roller coaster, but a roller coaster. Now, I will say, I do have two complaints. One, I do think the movie could have been longer. And it's not so much, and it's similar, but not as bad as Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Because while I think Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness needed, at bare minimum, another 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes out of that movie to really get all the stuff they really want to get across going. Because I think there was so much more that could have been done, that could have been set up to make that movie even juicier. Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, I'm not gonna lie, considering the plot that they were doing, that movie probably could have been 3 hours. I know that sounds crazy, but the more I've seen it again, and I'm like, you know what? This movie could have probably been one of the longer MCU movies. This movie could have probably been a Spider-Man Far From Home, a Spider-Man No Way Home, an Avengers Infinity War, or maybe even Endgame length kind of movie, because it just felt like it had that much story in it. Whereas this movie, I think, did a pretty good job of telling its story, but I just wish it had an extra 15 minutes, maybe 20, to really punch up the Jane Foster stuff and the Gorr the God Butcher stuff. Both things still work. I thought Jane and Natalie Portman's performance was great, and I love the rekindled love, the rekindled romance between her and Thor, which works this time, which is cute and adorable, and you want things to work out for them. But I will admit, I'm like, man, I wish, there are certain things that they do in flashbacks and whatnot that I'm like, I wish we had another 10 minutes to, focus on that. Another 10 minutes to, really get into that mindset of what Jane's going through right now. Same with Gorr. While spoiler alert, you do see Gorr kill a god at the beginning, you don't really see him do anything. You don't really see him actually kill any gods. Because for the most part, he's in the for the most part, they just show the remnants, or the what's the word I'm looking for? They just show the aftermath of him killing gods, and it looks brutal and whatnot. But I would have liked to have seen him kill gods. Like there's a sequence that I thought was gonna go differently, but it didn't go the way it didn't go that way. But I would have loved to have seen him kill some gods. I would and I think if you add like another 20 minutes or so onto this movie, you maybe get some of those sequences in there of him killing gods, just really getting it across that he really is this threat. I think that could have helped. That could have elevated the movie to like legendary top tier MCU status. Instead, this is still a great entry into the MCU. This is like on the level of like what was the word, like a Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ant-Man. It's in that like in terms of quality, like it's in that, because it's in that 8.5 department. Or that 8 to 8.5 department. It's not the top tier stuff, even though there are some sequences in this movie that are top tier Marvel. It's not quite there. But I will say this. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious as ever. The Guardians are in the movie. They're in the movie. They're not in it too long. They're in it. Everyone gets their thing in, and they're kind of out of there. There are a hella jokes. This movie is hilarious, dude. It's probably one of the funniest movies in the MCU. I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's one of the funniest movies in the MCU. And by the time I walked out of that theater, after seeing the two really fucking cool post-credit scenes, the first one, well, I'm not gonna spoil here, but hey, whoa, boy, I see some people like, I don't know what they're gonna do with a Thor 5. I know what they're gonna do with a Thor 5. I know what they're gonna do in Thor 5. I can tell you that right now. It's gonna be, woo! I can't wait. And the actor they got, you know he's gonna bring the, oh man, Taika's gotta come back for that. He's gotta come back for that. But I digress. The second post-credit scene was lovely too. It was really fun. It was really lovely. But man, like that. This movie is a joyride. It goes places that you don't think it's gonna go. There are jokes that are really like whoa, can you say that? Like I said, this entire movie, I was on the edge, I was on the tip of my toe. I didn't know what was gonna happen, man. Literally, I'm just like, I think I know what's gonna happen next, but I don't know. Like a lot of movies you watch, you kind of get a concept, you know. I was watching the Batman. It's like, or like not just the Batman or Shang-Chi or something like that, you know, you kind of have a general idea. Like the last time a superhero movie has genuinely shocked me, don't worry, it wasn't like that long ago. It was No Way Home when Aunt May died. Spoiler alert. When Aunt May died, I didn't see that shit coming at all. Shit completely gut punched me. I was like, whoa, what? Oh shit. Didn't see it coming. This movie, multiple moments like that where I'm like, what the fuck? I'm laughing. I'm getting emotional when Thor and Jane, particularly with the Thor and Jane stuff. The ending I did not see coming. Apparently this movie was a family production, by the way, because everyone's fucking kids were in this movie. Like fucking Chris Hemsworth had like 2 of his goddamn kids in the movie. Let that be a lesson to you, any young actors trying to get into the business. Have a famous dad, and he could just give you a role in the movie. But yeah, I guess that's what it means to be a producer. You know, that was something they were touting. Is like Chris Hemsworth. He's one of him and Scarlett Johansson are the only 2 actors to have a producer credit on one of these MCU films. Does seem like Feige is loosening up, which like I said in the video, maybe is a bad thing. Maybe it could be considered a bad thing that he's loosening the reins. But either way, I can't quite understand anyone I get people who hated the Taika Waititi version of Thor. And they hate this film. I get you. I don't understand anyone who loved Ragnarok who hates this movie. It's not computing in my brain. Like, My brain can't even comprehend the idea that you love Ragnarok and you just like, oh, I didn't really like this movie. Because I'm just like, oh, did you really? Because it's Thor Ragnarok. Except more. It's more. I mean, it's not just Thor Ragnarok. Because Jane, obviously, the introduction of Jane and Gorr completely changed the context of the story. But in terms of tone, in terms of, you know, the way it feels, it's Thor Ragnarok. Except a little bit darker. I think it might be a little bit darker. I mean, when you have Gorr, it has to be a little bit darker. And the ending is sadder. It is. It's a bittersweet ending. Like, when it happens, you're just like, damn. Like, but either way, I give Thor Love and Thunder an 8.5 out of 10. Had a blast with this film. It was, I gotta tell you, like I said, it's not top because, like I said, I think they could have they could have used another 20 minutes to really, you know, dive into Jane and Gorr more. But other than that, they could have utilized the Guardians a little bit better. I like the way they used the Guardians, but they could have done it even more so. You know what I mean? There was more to be done there, and it wasn't as awesome as we thought it would be. Now, funny enough, there's a sequence where they're on the ship, and it's like, this is it. This is what I wanted to see. Thor mingling with the Guardians, and them chit chatting and fucking with each other. And it's only lasts about 2 minutes, but there's a sequence where he's on the ship with the Guardians. I'm like, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is what we all wanted at the end of an Endgame. Saddens me that it's not gonna happen, but hopefully the Guardians and actually, I don't know, because it seems like James Gunn's gonna kill off somebody, so it ain't gonna be the same Guardians group he's going to. Saddens me, but it is what it is. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Copy Game Movie Show. Please remember, like, subscribe, and did you see Thor Love and Thunder? If you haven't, it's okay. Watch my review. I don't spoil anything. And there's a shit ton of stuff to spoil because, oh my gods. Literally. Anyways, thank you guys again. I'll see you on the next one. Please remember, like, subscribe.